Why your local band is failing. Today I wanted to talk about local bands and their interaction with crowds and why most of them probably aren't going to be leaving their local area anytime soon. It's a hard conversation. It's something that needs to be talked about. I talk to a lot of bands. I talk to a lot of local bands. So if anything, take what I say with a grain of salt and you do your own judgment. But these are my opinions, and it is what it is. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to act like a hobby. If you're only posting every now and then, if you're not consistent, if you don't really have a decent message in your music, then it's not going to go that far. If you're only posting when you have a show, then it's not going to go very far either. And word of mouth works, just not all the time, and not to anybody past the genre or the show. So it's something to think about. You're not consistent online. It's one of those things that we live in a day and an age where the internet is king and we have to be posting all the time. I'm guilty of this as well. I don't like posting. I'm not great at posting, but I do recognize the value in having to post. I'd say at least once a week about something. And it doesn't always have to be about your band. In fact, a lot of people kind of get annoyed when you're just posting about your band on your band channel. They want to hear and see you supporting other bands in the local scene that you are currently in. They want to see you talk about things that don't relate to your band. Show them a personality. Maybe a goofy moment that you and your bandmates had. Not everything has to be an advertisement. It doesn't. You can make a post without it sounding like, pick me, and don't go political on your music page. It just doesn't work out. You're always going to divide up your audience, one side over the other, and there are going to be people that ask you for your opinion. And I guess it's fine to share your opinion on your personal pages, but never the band page. And that's a personal thing. Is because, even if I agree with the political statements being made, it makes me look a different way at you. So make a post every now and then. There's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You don't have to use all of them either. If you're really good at one, stick with that one and do a lot of content for that one social media platform. That will greatly help you out. And try not to make them sound preachy or pick me, my lord. Use your own life and your own experience and have fun with it. Show your music, obviously, but show other people's music as well. Show the band you really want to see get that next show. Promote a show that you're not on just to be nice to the other bands, because they will notice that. They will notice that. You don't have clear identity or message. I have a lot of bands out on a podcast. This is Recall the Podcast. We talk to a lot of musicians, a lot of local musicians, engineers, and so on. And one of the things that we try to tell each of the guests is act as though no one has ever heard of you before and explain it to me and the audience with kid gloves and as simple and bare as possible. Who are you? What do you do? What is the message you are trying to relay with your music? What is your goal when this takes off, if it takes off? What is something about you that I should care about? And explain that to people in the very, very easiest, nicest, calmest, most descriptive way possible. Follow through with your commitments. I've had it here on the show. I'm going to say that a lot on this episode. I've seen a lot of shows where bands flake out at the last minute. We've had podcast guests who bail on the last hour before we're going to hit the record button or before somebody's going to show up. Things are noticed. It is noticed when you are the late band every single time. It is noticed when you are not posting about the show that is coming up. It is noticed when you get on stage and we can tell you haven't practiced. And those kinds of things being noticed are not great for you if you're doing them. Because let's be real, even in your own band, if you have a member that never shows up, and when he does show up, he's not well practiced, are you going to keep him around all that long? Playing the same show over and over and over again. This happens quite often. They find a venue, a band will find a venue, and they enjoy it, so they just keep playing there. There is no branching out when you do that. None at all. The only crowd that's going to show up is the crowd that was going to go to that venue anyway. Switch it up a little bit. Pick one venue and go there 1 week, and then don't go back there for another 3 or 4 weeks, even 2 or 3 months even. Because if you play consistently, that's great, right? You're playing, you're practicing, you're getting your chops, you're building up. But if you're playing to the exact same crowd, nobody new is hearing about you. Nobody new is talking about you. So spread it out a little bit. Play a bunch of different shows in a bunch of different venues, a bunch of different bars, and really get your name out. You disappear for months at a time. Literally. You might make an album. You spent all year working really, really, really hard on this album, and it sounds great. It sounds incredible. Best work you've ever done, right? But then you disappear for a solid 6 months. Nobody hears from you. Everybody kind of thinks that you've kind of lost your way. You've moved on. You're not in the band anymore. The band had split up. It's hard to get a gauge on what you're doing. And that goes back into the posting situation where you should be posting at least once a week. At least once a week. We live in a digital world. Momentum dies fast. And in 2026, it's going to die even faster. And you have to compete with AI. And you have to compete with all the other people. And I think the quote was 200,000 songs a day on Spotify? If you're not consistent, if you don't show up, if you don't keep posting, if you're not going to be there, then it's not going to work out. Disappearing for months at a time is the worst thing you can do. If you're going to post a song, awesome. Post a song, talk about it the next week. And then the week after, talk about something else in that song. And the next week, and the next week, and the next week. It is hard. It is not easy. I fail at this too. Everyone does. There's not a person on this planet that's going to tell you that it's easy to do any of this stuff. And we all fail in some aspects of it. But we have to try, and we have to keep as consistent as we can possibly keep it. And once you've exhausted all the posts for that one song, it might be beneficial to start working on other songs or a music video, or at that point, start engaging with the other bands in your local area to talk with them to see what they're doing. Promote their stuff. Talk about their band. It will help. Let's move into the monthly moment. So the monthly moment is a new segment on the Recall the Podcast channel. We're going to be picking out one band to spotlight and shout out for the month. This month is going to be a random band. We might change it up for the next time just to see how things work. I'm still working the kinks out on all that, but let's get into that. So we had 19 entries into the monthly moment. They are all sitting here on a wheel right now. It was the fairest way I could think to do it. So we're going to go ahead and click the button, see which one it is, and give them a shout out. Yeah? All right, let's go ahead and hit it. Tempting the Tides. Oh, wait. Yep. Tempting the Tides. Okay. Tempting the Tides out of Middletown, Delaware, established in 2025 and already making serious noise in the local metalcore scene. They just released a new single called Consequences on February 20th. I'll make sure to leave the link in the description for the band, and like, share, comment, subscribe. Comment your band in the comment section of this video, and you might be the next monthly moment. Okay, back to the episode. And on the consistency side, have a plan. Make a plan for everything that you do. Sit down with your band members and actually write it out. Write out what you do as a band, what you want your schedule to look like. When is band practice? When is release day? It doesn't have to be the same day as everybody else's. Most people, like the last Friday of a month or something like that for Spotify. We live in an attention economy. Every split second, there is a new piece of video. Every split second, there is a new person on the internet. You have to compete with not only yourself and your bands, but the video games that are coming out, the movies that are coming out, all of the AI that is coming out, people doom scrolling on TikTok second after second after second. It's you have to find a way to grab someone's attention in the first 3 seconds of anything. In a song, in a video, in a short. 3 seconds, that's all you get to really show who you are. And if you can't do that, then you're not going to get anywhere. Now, I know a lot of this stuff is hard to hear, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that disagree and say that there's going to be things that I should be doing correct. And you're right, I don't do it all proper myself either. I have made a lot of failures on this channel. I acknowledge that, and I try to improve every day. And that leads into the next thing. Don't give up. Don't quit. People quit too early. If it doesn't happen in the first 6 months, that's okay. If it doesn't happen in the first year, that's okay. Every day that you continue is another day that you learn something new that you can apply to the next day. And that's really what it's about. We have to learn our way on our music videos, how social media works, how the interactions are going, and compete with all of the AI stuff that is coming out nowadays. And let me tell you, I've seen some AI stuff that could compete with the best of bands, let alone some small local bands. And that's, again, not to discourage you. I want you to continue. I want you to fight for your band. I want you to use everything you learn, apply it to your next video, to your next song, to your next advertising campaign, to your next promotion, to your next YouTube, and really see what happens. And then do it again. Try to learn something about yourself, learn something about your band, but never, ever give up. There is hope. You may not be the best ever. You might be the best there's ever been. But no one will know unless you keep going and try. So some simple things that you can do to improve your band. When you make your commitments, stick to them. If you plan on being somewhere, be there. Everyone notices when you are there early and you stay late. When you help the other bands get their stuff on stage. When you are talking to the crowd. When you show up well practiced. People notice. Everything, every little detail is noticed. And whether it's conscious or not, they're going to keep a little note in their head. This person, this band, showed up on time. This person got on stage and they did their job well practiced. This person showed up to the studio with fresh strings on their guitar, fresh pads on their drums, and they knew their parts in and out. This person posted about all of the bands here at the show instead of just themselves, and post regularly about it. That's it. That's really all you can do. I am not guaranteeing your success. You have to do that. What I'm doing is giving advice, some things that you might be able to look back on and improve on so that you have that chance to get your name out there. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on all of it. I'm sure I'll look forward to the comments. Tell me, what do you think? What is something that you've done with your band that has worked? What do you think hasn't worked? What do you think most bands are going to do this year that is going to be their detriment? What do you think bands should be doing? And I hope this was helpful. So this has been Recall the Podcast. We do this episode once a month, and we just started putting highlight videos out on some of the bands that we have had on previously, so make sure to check all of that out. And until then, peace and love, y'all.